fact, Arthur Edwards, who's just joined us in the studio, you also, you know, obviously it's affected everybody.
It has, yeah. It has, yeah. I mean, it's affected everything and the way we live, and I'm fed up with it now. I just want to get back to normal as quickly as possible.
Well, it's going to affect, of course, the funeral of the Duke of Edinburgh on Saturday. And you would normally be there in your role as royal photographer. Yeah. Presumably you don't know the arrangements.
Well, I think it's going to be very limited because of COVID. You can't have the photographers standing together. So they're probably thinking about that now. But, yeah, I'd like to be there for that, yeah. I mean, I've had 40 years working with him and I'd like to say goodbye to him.
Just tell us about, I mean, you've got some of your favourite photographs that you're sharing with us this morning of him. What was he like to photograph? Because there is a very famous clip of him in a group of people for a formal occasion, telling the photographer in no uncertain terms to hurry up and get on with it. Yeah. What was it like?
That's how he was. He was very straight to the point. I mean, after he made one of his gaffes in Australia about the chucking spears at each other, the following day we had a press reception in Brisbane, and he came over to a small group of us and admonished us, and he was finger in the face, you know, sort of actually criticising us for writing about his gaffes. And I was there in China when he made the slitty eyes remark, and he said, I did make that remark. He said, but that was a private conversation. I was trying to cheer those lads up. They were depressed. They were, you know, he said, asked them what they did to entertain themselves. They said, chasing rats around the flat. Well, I mean, what a sort of life's that? And he said, I was trying to cheer them up. But you wasn't supposed to hear that. And of course, he said about the spears chucking, he said, I was at another tribe earlier in the day, and they told me that they used to fight this other tribe, and they used to be throwing spears at each other. So, you know, he kind of made his point, and I realised then, you know, but a lot of them were offensive, you know, like when he said to the woman who said, I work in a club, and he said, is that a strip club? You know, I mean, that's sort of can be considered to be rude. And of course, he was famous for it, but as I carried on working with him, I mean, I didn't like him at first because he was very abrupt, but I got to like him. And that one of the pictures I did there of the last but one job he did before he retired. I mean, it's he was just charming. He was just absolutely charming and funny, and that's when he made the great. I'm the greatest, most best plaque unveiler in the world, you know. So
his relationship with the Queen is the sort of central relationship that everybody's focused on right now, because of course leaves, you know, as one of her sons described, huge void. There's a beautiful picture that you have of them together. The last day of their tour to Australia back in 2011.
That's right, yeah, and of course the crowds were huge, everybody, and when it wasn't officially announced, we knew it was going to be their last tour, and so did the Australians, and they turned up in their thousands. It was 10, 20 deep at places, and the children there with their flowers, and the Queen couldn't see everybody, and he was going to get flowers off the children and bringing them to the Queen. But it's that look that they give each other when they do that, which is tells you everything about them. You know, they're just, you know, they'd have rows. I remember once at the Guildhall, they were signing the book, Queen signed the book, and then the Duke came to sign, and he turned to the Queen and said, what's the date today? And she said, November the 14th, Charles's birthday. It was just typical, isn't it? So that's how it was, yeah.
Arthur, great to see you.
And you.
Thanks so much for sharing those memories with us.